Hey whimsically musical teachers, are you tired of having your students every single time they walk into your classroom ask you, what are we going to do in music today? And you're just tired of answering that age-old question over and over again, and you want your students to be a little bit more in control of like what they're learning slash get to really see like an overview of what they're going to be doing in your music class? Then in today's video, we're going to be talking all about how I use daily music agenda slides in my classroom to not only allow the students to know what they are learning, but to make my job a little bit easier and me not have to remember it all and have to carry around a piece of paper or a post-it note or whatever you use to remember what your sequence of events is, and then make your life a little bit easier. So if that is interesting to you, please stay tuned. For those that don't know me, my name's Brittany Barden and I teach elementary music. I also teach middle school musical theater. This is my 8th year teaching in Central Florida, and I created this channel to really help music teachers all over inspire a love and appreciation of music in the heart of every child. And we do that through lesson plans, tips, strategies, ideas, activities that you can implement in your classroom as early as today or tomorrow. So if you like that, please make sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. But as I was saying, in today's video, we're going to be talking all about how I use daily music agenda slides in my classroom, why I use them, the pros, the cons of them, and then I'm going to actually walk you through like my actual daily agenda slides for like a weekly lesson plan with my 2nd grade students. And so with that, let's get started. So basically, daily agenda slides can be anything that you want them to be. They allow the students to have an overview of what they're going to be doing in music today. Like it'll say on the board what kind of activities we're going to be doing today. It eliminates that age-old question of what are we doing when they walk into your classroom, because they can expect that when they come in, they can go look at the board and see what's coming down the pike. And of course, some of the stuff I don't fully flesh out because like if I'm introducing a new concept, I don't want them to know they're learning that. I might just say the name of the song that we're doing today for that sort of thing. It also allows them to get an idea of how your music class works. If they know we always start with a movement activity and then we do a song and then we do a rhythm activity and all of that, then they can get used to the flow of your music class as well, which make things a little bit easier and should make transition time a little bit quicker. There are many different things that you could put on a daily agenda slide. You could put what you're doing, you could put the date, you could put a learning goal, you could put a question of the day. Anything that you need to put on this daily agenda slide you could ultimately have, but I feel they're really important because it allows them to take a little bit of ownership, like I said, of their learning. It reminds you of what's coming next so that it's always on the screen. You can hyperlink to everything so that you have all of your slides and all of the things that you need in one centralized location. Which I don't know about you, but having to have like 50 tabs open when all I have to do is when I'm actually using that lesson, click on the hyperlink and it immediately takes me where I need it to go is a beautiful thing. I'm just saying. I will say the one major con that I have to using daily music agenda slides is that it takes some time to set up every week. This really only works if you know what your lessons are more than before the morning that you're doing them. Like if you have your lesson weeks planned for the week, then like Friday afternoon, I typically, that hour after work, I will stay, I will edit all of my slides for the upcoming week, and then I have them ready to go. And this could be really happening. This could be really helpful for you, especially if you repeat certain lessons year round. You can easily tweak them and swap out a few different lessons or activities or hyperlinks, and then you have them readily available for the next year. And I have found these music agenda slides to be really helpful in my class. And so I'm just a very big advocate for them, but like I said, if you don't think you're going to have the time to do it, then don't do it, but you could always try it out, see if it works well with your students, see if you're liking it, and then decide where to go from there. So I figure in this next part of the video, I'm actually going to get onto my computer and do a screen recording where I walk you through what I actually use in my daily music agenda slides and how I used them for a class period so that you can see how these slides can really work for you and what sort of stuff you should include in it. So we're going to switch over to computer Rainy now. So I'm going to start breaking this down for you super quick so you can see how it looks. So this is just an example layout of how I use my daily agenda slides. I have the grade level up here. It says welcome to music, and these are the headers that I use. I have a learning goal for the lesson. I have the agenda over here, and then I have a question of the day. In my product that I have that I'll talk about at the end of this video, I also have editable headers as well in case you don't want these. But this is what I typically use, and this is what my students will see when they walk into my classroom. So then the next slide actually shows what I have on the board at any given time in my classroom. So this is for a 2nd grade lesson that I did about 2 weeks ago. And so I have the learning goal up there, which the learning goal for them is I can identify and perform half note rhythms, because we actually just were introduced to half note about 2 weeks prior to this. And so they're still practicing. They're in the practice phase of making sure they know how to do half note rhythms. So I have that there. And then I have a question of the day, and I did get this from, I believe, Mariah Holmes, Home Sweet Music. I will link to her Instagram under here, but she did this with her students where she would have some sort of question on the day, and it always tied into what she had done with the lesson prior. And so this one, since we had introduced half note a week or so before, I wanted to have a half note rhythm on the board. So I'll say, who can say and clap this rhythm? And I will just pick a student or a few to do it, and then we all just practice it together. And so it would go like ti ti ta ta, because that's the notation that I use in my classroom. But I really liked having the question of the day. You could have it be, who remembers we sang the song in last class, or who knows how to sing this with sol mi notation. Like whatever question you want to have that ties in your lesson from prior, because I always do like to tie in lessons from prior. I always have something that ties over to the next lesson. And then we have the actual agenda in and of itself. So we always start with a vocal warm-up in my classroom. I have an entire video on what my vocal warm-up is for my classroom, so I will link that underneath this video. And then I have all the activities that we're doing in class. And if they use slides or a video or anything, I have it linked in here. For example, this one is Captain's Coming, which is a game that I created for rhythm review, and it's for half note. So I can click on this. It'll immediately take me over to those slides. And then when I want to get back to my agenda, it's literally right there. And I just click slideshow again, and we're back. Then this one is, we're doing the song Day-O. It's a Calypso folk song for Black History Month, and it's using boom wipers from Musication. And so instead of having to actually go onto YouTube, because I don't want to deal with the ads and all that things, I have hyperlinked the video into the slide. So I click it, it's the next slide on my thing, and I'm going to mute it so you don't hear it, but it's literally within my slides, so I don't have to do anything different. And so that's really great. And then from there, I can just backtrack. And then I know that we just did that. And then I move on to Bingo Bongolo, which that is the song that we are using to prepare dough. And so I have slides for that as well. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. I have slides for that as well. And it'll open to here. If I wanted, I could even delete the slides that I don't need, because I do have this as a product as well. So this was my product one. But I could even just take the slides that I wanted, and I could copy and paste them into my agenda slides if I wanted. Like if I was to duplicate this and then I think maybe put paste, it might work. Maybe not. Yeah, see? So I could actually import, and I won't link to the original presentation. But see, it could be anything that you want it to be. It can be super, super simple. And then all of it's in one place. I don't have to worry about anything else. And it makes my life a million times easier. So I highly recommend using daily agenda slides in your classroom. I think they're great. And then, like I said, the students really like getting to see what they are doing in the classroom. And so I could not recommend this more. But now I'm going to take you back to non-computer Rainy to finish this out. And that is how I use daily music agenda slides in my classroom. I hope that was really helpful for you. I hope that you're able to kind of figure out how you might want to use them and how you could start incorporating them into your music lessons. And if you're like, girl, I want to use these, but I don't want to have to make them myself from scratch, I have got you covered. I actually have a seasonal music agendas bundle that includes slides already pre-made and designed with like 20 different designs for each one. For spring, winter, fall, summer. I also have a couple like ones for Halloween. I think I have ones for Thanksgiving. I'm trying to work on making seasonal ones for like that too, if you're that type of person that wants all the different seasonal slides for all the things. But I at least have for the 4 seasons. And they're already pre-made for you. They have an editable version and a non-editable version. So like one version has the headers already up there for you, and one has everything completely editable so that you can drag and drop and do whatever you want to do with them. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, I will link to that product right underneath here so that you can check it all out, pick what you need, take what you want, and go from there. Because my job is to make your jobs as easy as possible. And with that, I will see you guys in next week's video. I'm no longer going to be saying what is coming up in next week's video, because I learned from my last music batching session that I need to not do that, because I change videos around all the time. So it will be a surprise as to what comes to you in next week's video. But I'll see you next Monday. Bye.